Boom, boom, boom. And drink some water. Boop. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to D1AL-ogue. That's how I'm pronouncing this. I don't know how you would pronounce it other than making that into an I. It's been a few weeks since I've played this. I can barely remember how it goes. I should be able to still get this down. I know a few of these Eves. I remember them being called Eves. Some of them liked... You can tell they liked Chris, the character I play as. And we're supposed to be going to some light festival thing, if I remember correctly. I think I'm trying to remember who this one is. I think she invited Chris out for a walk. I think either a walk or dinner. Some other Eve robot girl invited Chris out for either a walk or dinner. And as much as I can remember. All right. Most exhausting morning I've had in a while. I think I had some weird dream last night too, but I can't remember a thing. Is this all from skipping my supplement? I'm not feeling too good either. Usually just focusing on something helps at times like this. I should just open the shop for now. Okay, go ahead and just open the business. So Cinderella is going around acting like some righteous phantom thief. Yeah, after a customer brought it up yesterday, I got curious and looked it up. And some people are already treating them like a hero. And that hero goes around smashing the authorities with high heels? And I didn't believe it at first either, but after seeing the clips on the feed, I changed my mind. High heels can be a way scarier weapon than you think. Really? Might as well say they showed up in the pumpkin carriage. Actually, they say they sometimes show up riding a hover bike covered in orange bulletproof glass. Interesting. What a spectacle. In a city crawling with Cinderella fetish psychos and their supporters. It amazes me sometimes how you manage to stay sane living there, Chris. Sane? I don't need to stay sharp starting today. I do need to stay sharp starting today. Why? Is something wrong? Because the city enters total polar night starting today. Total polar night? Isn't it always night over there anyway? It's dark all day, sure, but it's not night 24 hours a day. That doesn't make any sense. Chroma City has two types of nights. your regular night, and gray night, where the sun is up, but it's still dark. You mean it's dark even during the day? Yeah. Back when this place used to be an industrial city, the pollution was terrible. And all the smog and fine dust from back then built up in the stratosphere, formed a pollution layer that blocks out all sunlight, so it's dark even during the day. It's just slightly brighter than night, because the light barely scatters through. To be exact, it's more like night with the brightness turned up just a notch. We call that gray night. Definitely a crappy neighborhood. As I said yesterday, that's the charm of this city. But I gotta admit, it's pretty crappy around this time of year. What's got into you? Usually you'd be rattling off all the reasons Chroma City is so great. I'm a bit tired today. Think I just want to take it easy. That's a shame. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. Going to bed tired and waking up tired. They say parents always know best. Never imagined those supplements they told me to take religiously would be this effective. Throw in some depression and a couple of diseases and I definitely turn into a zombie. Kind of see why there are so many zombies out on the street. Headaches, chronic fatigue, dizziness, and a touch of anxiety. It's a perfect ordeal to learn the importance of health firsthand. Hell. The human body is a lot like an Eve. So if the hardware fails, it messes up the software, the mind. Of course, the reverse is also true. Like that case where someone froze to death in a broken freezer purely from psychological factors, or actual illness is getting cured by taking fake medicine. A healthy mind and a healthy body. Since my physical health is already out the window, maybe it's time I focus on the healthy mind part. If they affect each other, groaning and complaining about being tired would just make an express ticket to rock bottom. With my body and mind teaming up against me, rather than working the day, maybe I should just quietly... Hello. I got hit by some falling debris. Normally, I would have avoided it. Guess I was just tired from the frequent deployments lately. This isn't about being tired. Get in here, quick. The fact that your outer alloyed armor is dented like this means if you were a standard Eve model, you would have been destroyed before we could have even salvaged the core. Is that so? I think I'd rather just rest a bit. People usually die after saying stuff like that. I'm starting the repairs right now. And just a little rest. Orca. Okay, let's see. Orca's requests repair critically damaged Orca. Target is 50 moves. Okay. So 3 areas. Okay, let's do this one. So we need 2 of the small ones, and right? Okay. So there we go. Okay, that one's a big one. All right. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I got all 4. So that's in the correct spot. Boop. Boop. No. And then there we go. And that's all done. Okay, we'll go with this. Oh yeah. Orca, can you hear me? Stay with me. I need to know if you can hear me. He's in a really bad shape. The power unit and some neural units have completely stopped functioning. The exterior alloy is severely deformed and the internal frame is pressing on the core. Gotta move fast. Every other part desperately needs a unit swap too. Okay. Okay, so alright, I got that. Go. Okay, so I just what? I wasn't trying to move it that far then down. Okay, just need all right, I got all the pieces I need. Okay. So move that there. There. What's this one? That one's in the correct spot. Okay, good. None of that moved. There we go. Okay, good. So cold. Orca, are you awake? No, O'Hara. You can't fall back there. Orca, what did you just counter? Now, grab the neck. Magical German suplex. What? Are you seriously quoting Buff Girl right now? At a time like this? Blood. What if I bleed? Gotta win. Gotta save the kids. O'Hara, let's go. Orca, O'Hara, just push a little more. We can save everyone. Orca. I'll make sure you get to see those kids you saved again. I'll save you no matter what, I promise. Alright, last one. Should be easy. Okay. Boom. Come on. Alright, I already got everything I need. That just needs to be moved here. Right there. Wait, no. There we go. There we go. Orca should be saved. Luckily, the worst is over. Thanks to working fast, the core output is quickly bouncing back to normal. Ugh. I can finally take a breather. Orca? It feels so nice. Just like this. Forever. Orca, you really need to stay awake. We pass out now. But, so I'm Buff Girl. Have to protect everyone. But get back up again and again. Guess Orca has a cute side to her too. Orca? Orca, are you awake? Just a little more. A little more. Your core low on power? Hold on. The emergency power unit I left around here is... Chris? Orca, you're awake. I'm sorry. I haven't slept a week since I last saw you. Once I got somewhere comfortable, I just drifted off. By any chance, I didn't say anything weird in my sleep, did I? I'm just glad you're safe. What's with that vague answer? How did you even get hurt like that? A normal structural collapse wouldn't even leave a scratch on alloyed steel. Orca showed me a frown. You really didn't say much. Just your strong will. And maybe some sleep talk about Buff Girl. That is a lot. Seems like you secretly love sharing a name with this season's Buff Girl. Orca O'Hara. Stop. Watching Orca's reaction was fun. I didn't really want to find out firsthand what a machine that survived a building collapse could do. Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, what really happened? Four heavy-duty exterior parts to get dented like that. Have you heard of a group called Morning Glory? Terrorists. One of the main reasons I'm scared to walk the streets at night. Morning Glory is an anti-government terrorist group. Their goal is to rally the masses by exploiting poverty and deprivation, and give them a sense of satisfaction by openly trampling on authorities. They're also causing social issues in Chroma City. They claim to be an outlet for anger. Yes, their numbers have increased significantly lately. Cinderella, Morning Glory. I actually know an Eve who's a fan to Cinderella. Well, was a fan to be exact. Morning Glory is worse than Cinderella. Cinderella just commits bizarre crimes, but Morning Glory uses them as a tool to incite masses. If they just take a lifetime of pent-up anger and give a little push saying it's their fault, the oppressed crowd turns into a terrifying mob. Just yesterday, Morning Glory raided the Stability Officer Training Center. It was a facility that doubled as an orphanage. That facility surrounded by all those conspiracy theories. Yes. And they say they use strict indoctrination from a young age to mold them into the perfect government henchmen. And that's actually true, at least for the kids who want to be stability officers. Anyway, Morning Glory used that controversy as an excuse to attack the training center. And they even used military-grade explosives they got from who knows where. I was evacuating the kids and holding back the crowd when falling rebar crashed down on me and the protesters. Let's just stop here. That's terrible. I understand. The rest of the story, just the same old predictable tragedy anyway. Chroma City and Morning Glory. It's only the crowd and mediators caught in the conflict who end up dead and hurt, while the ones pulling the strings just hide in the back, running their mouths. they want to fight so bad, they should just set up a ring and duke it out. But the ratings would be a killer too. Wouldn't fighting skills become a requirement for politicians then? Anyway, I thought you were a very calm person, Chris. You're getting pretty worked up over this. Am I? Yes. When we first met, I thought you were a bit cold, with a sharp professional edge. Even about the Polar Night Day incident. You were so objective and cool-headed about it. What did I say? Don't really remember. You said before, take budget and compensation out of the picture, and all that's left is chroma or the patient. I've been thinking about it. Just stopping the show alone would cause a huge number of workers to suffer. It'd take a massive financial hit. Not to mention, it would disappoint the public who've been looking forward to the festival. What you said made me realize that as harsh as the decision is, there's a reason behind it. Usually, I've only ever met people who were outraged at either the protesters or Chroma City. I've been feeling pretty tired lately. Maybe that's why. If you hadn't show up half dead today, I wouldn't have opened the shop. Then I'm sorry about that. I should hurry up and leave so you can rest. No need for that. It was actually pretty fun and rewarding too. Don't overdo it, Chris. Seeing the shape you were in today, I'm pretty sure I should be the one saying that. See ya, buff girl. With her tail quivering, Orca disappeared like she was running away. Now that the tension's gone, the exhaustion is hitting me all at once. Just gonna rest for a second. Did it in 24 moves. Did 33 fusions. 165.4 seconds. Let's see, customer comment. But because I'm buff girl, I have to protect everyone. Okay. Beep, beep. I'm a sheep. I say beep, beep, I'm a sheep. The fire's too, it's dangerous to go in. Beep, E, A, yeah. 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 Wait, was I asleep? I reflectively bolted upright as the shout pierced my ears. The alarm just now, was it a dream? A familiar yet ominous red flash still flickers behind my eyelids. Another weird dream. What on earth was that? Through my blurry vision, I see an unwelcome shimmer. Blade, the guy from the other day. I briefly considered pretending to still be asleep, but knowing he'd start running his foul mouth gave me a headache. So I just sat straight up. Hey, kid. Hey, Bill, kid. Finally awake. Blade. Who else would be here besides us? Sleeping with your shop door open? You've got some guts. Stop spacing out and synthesize 2 tier 3 power units and 1 tier 3 neural unit for me. And make it quick. Because my patience is right in the gutter, just like public safety in this rotten city. Welcome back, Blade. It's buzzing outside with all the Polar Night Day prep. But you don't look too thrilled. Festival. Don't make me laugh. With those damn court blasting high output algorithms. My optical camo armor is overloading like crazy. Besides, The whole city is giggling like idiots high on cheap e-drugs. And taking advantage of that, those morning glory bastards or whatever are shitting all over the place. Actually, another customer dropped by earlier today. It said it's a total mess out there because major city facilities got sabotaged. That's all they're doing. On the surface, they claim to be some liberation army right fighting corrupt power. But as far as I'm concerned, they're just dopamine addicted bastards running wild because they're pissed off at their own lives. With all the energy they waste running around talking about changing the world, they do themselves the world a huge favor by just messing with an executioner in an alley and getting themselves killed. Well, their methods are pretty extreme. Thanks to that, civilians are terrified even with this year and vibe going on. Terrified? No, it's more of a pain in the ass. Thanks to those wannabe terrorists. Damn stability officers set up checkpoints on every block and are staring everyone down. Thanks to that, getting in and out of this neighborhood has become 20 times more annoying. It's a damn tough neighborhood. But first, please wait while I set up the dial gear. It's gonna take a bit. By the way, kid, about that gear you're using. Yeah? That's an old first gen model, right? The kind that doesn't send maintenance logs to Sunshine Corp. Using untraceable gear like that in times like these means you've either got guts or a whole lot to hide. Well, I stick with it because it's what I'm used to. Besides, leaving no paper trail makes things easier for you too, Blade. Huh. Now that's a hell of an answer. You look like some straight-laced rich boy on the outside. You're pretty slick. Then again, you couldn't run a business around here without that kind of guts. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm getting started now, so please keep it down for a sec. But hey, kid, do you even know what the name of that bunch of idiots means? His mouth never stops running. Well, doesn't it usually mean the glory of the morning? It's also the name of a flower. Figures a hothouse flower like you would think that. It means morning wood. You stupid bastard. Some clueless scholars probably picked it out of a dictionary to sound fancy. But as far as I'm concerned, they're just a bunch of brats whose only achievement is pitching a tent every morning. Their ranks were based on that morning harness. I'm already ruling the city as their king, don't you think? That's a very vulgar way of thinking. Then again, they were really serious about changing the world. They wouldn't have gone to the inefficient route of blowing up public facilities just to draw aggro. Oh, because real pros would have just quietly taken out the target. The look in your eye just changed a bit. Just kidding. The gear's all set up, so I'll get to work. Alright, how quick do I gotta make this? Then 140 seconds. Alright. Oh, jeez. How big do I gotta make those? Okay. Oop. Okay, come on. Let me. Okay, so it gets that size. Come on, I need more yellow. And then again, I also need more pink too. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me see about. Ah, dang it. Okay, so I need to do them 3 times. All right. Okay, there's that. I'm going to do that. This here. I'm gonna need more yellows. Okay. There we go. Do. There we go. All right, now I can just do. Okay, so I got that one down. Now I just got to focus on the pinks. All right. Okay, so that got me all of them. So here, there, and there. I hope I did that in enough time. Here are the tier 3 power units and the neural unit you requested. While synthesizing, I threw in some contour corrections for a cleaner finish. With these, you'll slip right past the checkpoint scanners without a hitch. Oh, fast as expected. The surface of these synthesized units is very smooth too. Huh, look at this. The way you scramble security codes is no joke. Like your dumb first impression, your skills reek of something pretty dangerous. Dangerous? It's just personalized custom service. Nah, I like it. Guys who get the job done right are my kind of guys. I trust a guy like you who just quietly delivers results over those all talk revolutionaries any day. Thanks. You got a foul mouth, Blade, but you don't seem like such a bad guy. Save the flattery bullshit. Level with me. Where'd you earn your stripes? I've just been a regular mechanic for a long time, as far as I can remember. As far as you remember? That's pretty cryptic. Come on, Blade. Quit joking around and head out. If you hang around any longer, someone's gonna call you in. Yeah. I'll give you a free tip since I'm in a good mood. Keep your ass at home this polar night day. His word on the street is those morning wood bastards are gonna pull some major stunt. It'd be my loss if a handy mechanic like you got swept up in it and died, wouldn't it? Thanks for the advice. Though I don't think you're in a position to worry about me, Blade. Next time, get yourself a sexy female Eve for an assistant. Then I'd gladly spend my cash instead of just staring at your sickly mug. Have a safe trip back. That guy is insane today as well. I have no idea what goes on in his head. Watching the wavering figure fade away, my mind slowly grows hazy. Even the loud blaring of the infrared sensors at the entrance and Blade's startling cursing all fade away into the distant haze. I should just call it a day. Go inside and get some sleep right away. Wow, I barely just made that too. 136.7 hidden. Nice. December 18th. How many more days until the polar night day? Alright. This is just the worst. My head is killing me even more than yesterday. It feels like I'm right on the verge of remembering something, but the moment I try to focus, it slips away. At this point, it seems less like simple dimming and more like a flicker. No way. I kept the neon shine right next to me all night, just to be safe. Maybe it's just me, but I feel even worse now. I think I'm running a fever too. I'd love to just take the day off today, but I might be someone who needs urgent help, like Orca did yesterday. I should probably keep the door open just in case. Open for business. Customer told me yesterday that the anti-government terrorist group Morning Glory is actually sexual slang. Yeah, gross. They said you said you had a headache? You text me just to say that? It's not my words. It's what a customer said. Well, at least I heard it from you. The second you say something so unnecessary, you become an accomplice. Got it? I'll keep that in mind. Keep in mind? It's like hanging out with your own kind is seriously rotting your brain cells. If that happens where I live, that customer would already be drafting an appeal against a guilty verdict. Where you live? Come to think of it, Michelle, where is it you live again? What are you even talking about out of the blue? You don't actually have brain damage, do you? Just forgetting where I live and all? I've just been dealing with some chronic fatigue lately. But I don't know if there's anything wrong with my brain. Then again, seeing as my memory is failing, maybe it really is a brain issue. Maybe it's just because you stopped taking the supplements Mom and Dad gave you. Nobody told you to stop anyway. It's just a price you pay for doubting Mom and Dad's grace. If you're really having issues, you should probably just start taking them again. I'd love to, but I handed them over to another customer for now. Why? I told you last time. I felt weird taking something without knowing exactly what's in it. I think I'll be able to take them with peace of mind once I know for sure what's in them. Seriously though, I'm actually asking, where exactly are you living right now? I'm starting to get a little scared. I was gonna say somewhere in a faraway universe, just beyond the event horizon. But you're being serious right now. It clearly wouldn't work. I just don't have the energy to joke around. Don't go getting sick on me. I mean, you're a pretty big part of my life. Feeling superior to someone is a necessary emotion, you know? You haven't beaten me up lately. Can't touch me from there, can you? Anyway, for real, don't get sick. I'm worried about you in my own way. Thanks. Right back at you. Hi. Method Prey. That's her name. Kinda forgot her name from the last stream. Like I said, it's been a while since I played. Oh, it's you, pray. What brings you by? Came to see if you were dead. I mean, a guy obsessed with tinkering with Eve's actually closing up shop? I had to assume something major went down. Ah, left the front light off. It's not my day off, but I was so out of it I forgot to turn them on. You look really pale. My sister was worried too. She says something's wrong with my brain cells. That's just an insult. She says she's saying it out of concern. She might be right. There are a lot of things I can't recall. I think my focus has really slipped without me even noticing. Can't argue with that. Work on your focus a little. Actually listen to what people tell you. I'll try. Prey perched beside me. The chilly workshop, and the small folding bed in the corner. In a quiet stillness, city's noise lingers in my ear. The soundproofing isn't exactly enough to call this a place where the city's hum fades. Pretty cold. Prey lay down on the bed. Then she stole part of the blanket I was using and wrapping it around herself. Warm. Catch my cold sticking this close. Did you forget? I'm an Eve. I can't catch human diseases. Right. Of course. Of course, that non-judgmental attitude is probably what wins Eve's over. I can't exactly judge my own characteristics. Come to think of it, I guess it's an occupational hazard. A terminal one too. Your body literally can't live without Eves anymore. If you go even a day without getting your hands deep inside an Eve, you practically get withdrawal symptoms. Isn't that right? You make it sound really perverted. Well, you are a pervert. Well, that's hardly why I keep in touch with Michelle. Without her, I have nothing but Eves in my life. She's like a vaccine against misanthropy. Even though you're human yourself, it's not about what I am. It's about how I live. Only you can make bugging your little sister sound so cool. It's a talent, really. Slight pressure. Prey leaned against me. A few days ago, I was offered a shadow proxy contract. And they offered a massive sum of money in a 1-year term. Shadow proxying? It's slang for overriding someone's data onto an Eve. It's been illegal since Eves gained human rights, but it's still a thriving underground industry. The main reason it hasn't been wiped out yet is known to be largely due to the choice of Eves themselves. Since it's a task only Eves can do, not humans, you get paid a massive service fee. Don't worry, I turned it down. Didn't doubt it for a second. Plus, the guy who brought it up was awful. It was an offer from my worst customer of the year. Don't tell me. That streetlight idiot. You say you have memory issues, but you remember this just fine. That's right, it was him. High level exec at Sunshine Corp asking for shadow proxy. So that's why you hated him so much. Partially, yeah. But the real issue was the offer itself. It would have been better if it was a famous actor or some well-crafted commercial persona. He wanted me to raise his kid for a year. Kid? Yeah, his kid. Said I look exactly like his dead wife or something. Maybe he was worried about his kid grieving over his mom being gone. He wanted to give the kid a mom for just 1 year. That's an unexpected request, right? Then when I turned him down, he snapped and called me a heartless bitch. He dropped the polite act and played the card you know so well. Don't tell me. Taking down the streetlights. Yep, and raising the subscription fee. Fidgeting. Prey squirmed this way and that, as if uncomfortable. Funny, isn't it? To think that out of love for one person, you can torment someone else that much. Once you go through with a shadow proxy, you'll be haunted by that implement data for the rest of your life. If I had actually taken that offer, I would have felt like a mother's love. I would have felt a mother's love for his kid, even while being treated as nothing more than a temporary tin can to him. Did he even know? Even after the contract was up, even as the years went by, I found myself feeling like he was my son, whether I wanted to or not. Only know the technical side of it, but hearing it put that way, it's pretty grim. It means a total desync between cognition and reality for a lifetime. I thought he was just running his mouth because it wasn't his business, which, to be fair, was the truth. So I posted on the Cinderella help board, and the guy was gone for good. Then it suddenly hit me. Running my mouth because it wasn't business. That went for me too. That guy was trash, but he was still someone's father. It's impressive that you're being so mature about this. But you don't need to beat yourself up over it, Prey. Not like you killed him. Seems like a lot of guilt for writing one single post on the internet. I just meant that I like your unbiased perspective. People seem to think we can just swap out personalities like spare parts. And that's why services like this stay in business. Only the Eve who get dragged into it are the ones I feel for. Eves are a lot like humans. How so? Not knowing how their own bodies work. Of course they don't. There's actually a saying, give the core 3 good smacks before you start worrying about it. In my professional opinion, you shouldn't do that. You don't actually have to do that before you come see me, do you? And Prey bursts out laughing. Sure, it's probably just a funny joke, but I'm actually genuinely concerned. Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I'll give you a reward. Still handing out rewards when you're anxious, I see. And that reward is a free pass to tinker with my body however you want. You get restless. You get restless if you go even a day without tinkering with something, right? And when you're not feeling well, just slumping around like this only makes it worse. So think of it as fixing yourself. And just take things at your own pace. Okay. Self-maintenance with Prey within 40 moves. Alright. 3 areas. Go with this one. Come on, do that. All right. Do, do, do. Okay, so we got the blues already done. I just needed to work on the yellows. Let me just move this one yellow over here. All right. Okay, where do all these go? Okay, big yellow. Boop, 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 boop. And then I didn't even have to move it. They already have one right here. Okay, so gotta move this up here and move that there, and done. Early yesterday morning, Remy must have mistaken my external power core for a toy. She didn't actually yank it, did she? She yanked it halfway and caused a loose connection. Thanks to that, I was stuck in power saving mode for 3 hours. And I just had to watch Remy sitting right on my face. So it was a systematically perfect feline-induced discharge. Don't laugh. During the hard reboot, seeing her yawn right in my face is permanently burned into my logs. Alright. Continue this. Okay. Doop doop. That there. Okay, so we already got that one. Now we need to work on our blues. Good, good. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got one of those. Okay. I have a feeling I did more than 40 mode. Alright, we got all of them. Okay, so this goes here. This goes here. Boop, boop, boop. And done. Downloaded a friendly clerk patch from the dark web yesterday to score some extra tips. With your personality, I can already guess how that went. Exactly. Turns out it was full of bugs. Every time a customer made some ridiculous demand, my optics would just wink on its own. Is that your new marketing tactic? Don't even get me started. Some guy thought I was into him and tried to take me out along with his coffee. Of course, my pissed off boss caught him red-handed, and he ended up on the receiving end of a magical backbreaker. That's rough. Okay. Nah, I wasn't trying to go that way. I'm trying to go this way. Okay, just need to work a bit on my yellows. All right, I got all my yellows now. What goes here? The little... Okay, so that's already there. So... Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. And done. Kept it quick. That's enough for today. Unlike usual, you're in an awkward position, so you must be stiff. Yeah, that too, but I said do whatever you want, but who actually takes that literally? My toes were about to cramp up. Didn't really need to touch them. But I think I tinkered with some circuits I was curious about. How does it feel? My body feels all stiff and creaky, but my head is kind of dazed and refreshed. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Sounds like a perfectly dazed and refreshed way to put it. Yeah, spot on then. Gotta stretch a bit. Yeah. Oh, big stretch. Whew. By the way, have you thought about what we talked about last time? Polar Night Day? No. Wanna die? Actually, I got an offer from another customer too. I'm still up in the air, so I couldn't really make a call. Could be swinging both if it's for lunch, so lunch would be better. Then dinner it is, no excuses. From dinner until the next morning. I'm not budging on this. With a sour look on her face, Prey turned and headed out. Oh, right. I got so caught up talking, it completely slipped my mind. I picked up some supplements for you. You mentioned it before, that it's probably because you haven't been taking them? Thanks, Prey. If you're really thankful, then you better start being extra nice to me. Whew. Okay, I barely made that within the set amounts. I got 37. My target was in the 40 move. Wonder when looks like Polar Night Day is supposed to be like at the end of the week. It's messages. Trying to see. We're on the 18th. I don't really know when Polar Night Day is. Look at you, you're practically wasting away. You look awful. Leanne, since when have you been here? Just now. I saw the lights were off and debated if I should just leave you be. But this couldn't wait. Leanne looks grim. It's that look from a few days ago. A side of her I'd never seen before. How have you been feeling lately? Beats me. Feels like a textbook blue. But the kit keeps coming back clean. Of course it does, because it's not your body that's the issue. I guess so. Feels weird to crash, but just because I miss a few pills though. Maybe it's a mental thing? Since this thing I thought kept me fine is gone, my body might just be overreacting. It's probably exactly that, a mental thing. I'm something of an expert in this area, so take my word for it. Come to think of it, it's kind of ironic. What is? A human fixing Eves. And you, Leanne, are an Eve making meds for humans. I've never thought about it like this before, but being the one getting diagnosed, it really hits home. You could call it an instinctual attraction. Maybe it's just a habit. I've always craved what I don't have. I'm no good at managing my own emotions. Yet obsessing over ingredients and numbers, making medicine that affects emotions, being drawn to a bland, dull mechanic might just be me wishing for something I don't have. Something you don't have. And what's more, if it's something you used to have but lost, might only be natural that you crave it twice as much. Chris? Ready for my expert opinion? You getting all serious out of nowhere is kind of scary. That supplement you handed over, the lab results are in. Oh, that's all it is. We're good. Hearing expert opinion kind of freaked me out. Makes it sound like I came down with something serious. Honestly, I threw that word around a lot myself. I had no leg to stand on if she called me out. It was just me whining, really. Thinking back to how both Prey and Leanne were taken aback by that word. I was sure Leanne would bring it up. But she let it slide. That supplement of yours is a memory suppressant. It's a type of neuromodulator you can find on the market. My guess is the side effect even suppressed your memory of the pills themselves. Wait, don't tell me. The one we talked about the other day? Amnestics. Right. The exact same drug. It targets intensely imprinted memories. But since those parameters are so vague, it could come with a lot of side effects. In other words, just because you're taking these and they're suppressing a specific memory doesn't necessarily mean erasing it was why you started taking them. Guess I won't know for sure until my memory fully comes back. The problem is it might not come back at all. Roughly about 0.2% report this side effect. 0.2% doesn't sound like a realistic number. Guess it'll come back eventually. In medicine, 0.2% is an incredibly dangerous number. Can't just take it so lightly. Besides, I'm worried about you. I miss her usual cold and professional demeanor. That childish side of Leanne that occasionally slips out was enough to break the tension and make me chuckle. What's so funny? Your own body, aren't you worried? If simply stopping the meds is taking this much of a toll on your body, it means they were likely suppressing some serious trauma. Trust me, I'm plenty worried. But I can't help laugh at your reaction, Leanne. Seriously? You little... Oh, take it easy, I'm a patient, Leanne. I was so scared of how you take it. My imagination was running wild. I ran through dozens of scenarios in my head. Barely brought myself to come here. But seeing that smirk on your face makes me feel like an idiot for taking this so serious. Leanne drummed her fingers on my blanket like it was a drum. Well, yeah, that's the interesting way to say it. Then gave me a relieved smile. Sorry, I'm not exactly the serious type. If you're really sorry, how about you check my systems? I was so worried about you, I thought I was going to another repair shop. And say what now? Going to another shop when you have the D1AL-ogue right here? Absolutely cannot allow that. Sit down right now. But, wait a minute. A complimentary tune-up to keep a D1AL-ogue regular. Get it completed in 60 moves. Alright, let's see. Doesn't look like there's any major issues on the surface. Guess we'll need to take a closer look. Let's get right to the repair. Select the repair area to proceed. This looks like some kind of cyber drug unit. Scan shows it infects nearby modules and units after a few moves. So the purple ones are basically little viruses. Okay. The moves remain until cyber drug infection will show up on the top right panel. Okay. Cyber drug unit seems to infect directly above, below, left, and right. Okay. So as long as I don't have this anywhere important, should be fine. Synthesizing the cyber drug unit should clear out the drug codes. Be careful not to let it infect high-level units. Let's hurry up and wipe them all out. Okay. So... oh, no. Gotta do that. So I gotta keep these from damaging. Is it damaging? Okay. All right, let me just do that. That. I wonder. Oh, okay, so it can count. That makes sense. All right. So there we go. Okay, so I can't have it infect the higher ones. Okay, this is a lot more difficult than I thought. Okay, so I got 4 moves. Ooh, okay. Okay, so I got rid of the blue one. Now I just need to do yellow. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I can do yellow. I'm supposed to get rid of all those affected ones, right? Okay. Okay, all that's left is the pink. Right. There we go. They're all gone. Okay. Leanne, what did you do to yourself? Why is the inside of your core gunked up with narcotic? Thanks to that, your core is running dangerously hot. Things have been pretty hectic at work lately. I installed a unit with stimulant and painkiller properties. I figured it'd be fine to run it for a bit and take it out. You're in no position to be worrying about me. Honestly, it's a miracle you haven't crashed already. Just bear with it. No, the last one was... Can't take it? No, keep going. Okay. I'm basically trying to wipe out the little virus thing. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, that seems pretty easy. There we go. When I'm under your hands, it makes me forget so much. The piles of paperwork, the tangled office politics, it all feels like someone else's problem happening miles away. If you pass out on me now, your neural net might get wiped. Stay with me. All right. Wonder how many moves I've done so far. Okay. None of that. There we go. That takes care of that yellow. Just need one more. All right. And done. Why was the first one a bit more difficult than the other two? My legs feel like jelly. Patched up all the shorted circuits. Good thing we got it done quick. Everything wrapped up without a hitch. You feel any discomfort? Water. Maybe because of the overheated core. You dumped a lot of coolant. Even I was a bit surprised. Just give me a sec. I'll get you some drinking water. After pulling herself together, with no trace of her earlier vulnerability, she was right back to the Leanne I'm used to. Whew. I think my head finally cleared up. I've narrowed down the list of memories that might be blocked. Want to hear it? Only if you're up to it, of course. You've got my attention. Let's hear what's buried in my head. First on the list is your sister, Michelle. You guys talk every day, and you both lived with your parents up until a few years ago, right? He's the reason you chose this line of work. Yeah. Do you remember what she looks like? Where she works? Where she lives? When was the last time you saw her? I have no idea. I actually asked her where she lived just this morning. Come to think of it, she didn't answer me. Did something have happened to her? Hard to say. The parameters of those commercial suppressants are notoriously vague. Simply because you care about her so much might cause those memories to get suppressed. Except my parents really wanted me to take these meds. With Michelle dodging questions about herself, chances are something happened. Like I said, the quality of those meds is so shoddy that even our own execs admit it. It's best not to jump to conclusions. Even so, didn't they use it Cell's numbers as an excuse? Say your research wasn't needed? Their logic was, since this cheap pill sells anyway, why waste time and money making them perfect? Anyway, looks like my hunch was right. Honestly, it felt a little off. Talking about someone you can't even properly describe for all these years. And brushing it off as just your little sister? It was enough to make me think someone was threatening my spot next to you. But then a few days ago, couldn't you remember the age or whereabouts of this sister you've been talking to for years, and seeing how you didn't even find that weird? It was a textbook case of side effects I've seen in my research. So that's why you suddenly look so... Rather than saying it without being sure, I wanted to get my facts straight first. Sorry if I came off a bit upset. No, you're good. And what about the second one? If Michelle's the first, there should be at least a second, right? The second one is... Actually, this one isn't a clear cut as Michelle. It might just be labeling your tendencies as abnormal. And while it is abnormal, being born human, a so-called social animal, yet turning my back on society and preferring Eves over actual people, can't exactly call that normal, right? I love the confidence. Alright, then I'll give it to you straight. It was Polar Night Day. Polar Night, whether for better or worse, is a day you simply can't ignore. It's Chroma's most beautiful week, but also the perfect target to expose Chroma's contradictions. Countless revolutionaries, terrorists swarm in for Polar Night. For anyone who doesn't enjoy the festival, you could almost call it a week of terror. But you couldn't care less about any of it. You freak out over whatever Cinderella or blah. You freak out over whatever Cinderella and Morning Glory pull, but you're totally unfazed by Polar Night, which is basically their all-star game. Hearing you put it like that is weird. And Polar Night Day, the 1 week I figured I had absolutely nothing to do with me, would have left a mark just as deep as Michelle. That's actually a little scary. Well, it's a surprise. Figured you'd be more hung up on the stuff about your sister. Michelle is still someone precious to me. Those meds target the most intense memories first. It'd be weirder if my memories of her were perfectly intact. Is there anything else? Sorry to disappoint, but it's just those two for now. If I find anything else, I'll let you know. Anyway, how are you feeling? You said you were coming down with something? I'm doing a bit better. Maybe my brain still feels like it's overclocking. But now that I know I'm not actually sick, chills and sweats have died down. Well, you better get well soon. I'd rather not push back our plans for next week. Maybe thanks to Leanne, I actually feel a lot better. But experience tells me, overdo it just because I feel a little better. I'll pay for it tomorrow. I should just wrap up here and turn in early again tonight. Hey, I got it done in 42 moves. I thought I was doing more than that. Then again, I was taking quite a long time if it's 319.5 seconds. I want to say that's seconds. December 19th. Okay. Oh no. All right. Let's see. Chris. I feel way lighter than yesterday morning. I still skipped those supplements. Wait, memory suppressants, just like yesterday. I guess just realize what they really are makes this much of a difference. Anyway, what exactly did I forget? Michelle and Polar Night Day, how exactly are they connected? Overthinking it is just gonna give me a headache. Now that I'm feeling better, I should get the shop open. Okay, so Michelle and Polar Night Day. I'm guessing something happened to Michelle on Polar Night Day. Maybe he's not actually talking. Maybe this isn't Michelle at all. Maybe his sister's dead. Maybe this is an Eve that's pretending to be Michelle. You know? Because we did just figure out that Eves can get data that replicates how a person acts, I think. Michelle, got a sec? What's up all of a sudden? Considering the kind of crap you usually dump on me without warning, I'm genuinely terrified of what's coming next. My customers told me that those supplements I've been taking might actually have some memory suppressing stuff in them. Is that info even reliable? Judging by everything you told me about your customers so far, they're either total pervs or they skipped the social skills tutorial. Or honestly both. She's legit. She's an expert. She works for a pharma company. She also said that it might be suppressing my memories of you. Me? Honestly, sure seemed like it. Yeah, especially after what happened yesterday. How are you feeling now? It's hard to say. I'm feeling completely fine again. I'm pretty happy with how things are right now. I feel like getting my memories back and figuring out what's real. Probably the right way to go. But at the same time, I'm scared of losing this normal life. And the pills? Got them back. That's why my head's even more messed up right now. Is the choice of just taking the pills and live happily is just an arm's reach away? Right. An escape right in my hand. It wasn't all upside though. Sure, it can numb the anxiety in time, but it doesn't actually fix the root of the problem. Like the answers in the back of the book. Exactly. Debating whether to peek at the answers when you're stuck on a hard problem. Something like that. Just a thought, but if it's a problem you absolutely can't solve, you're putting it off as an option too. In a world where so many people are suffering because they can't renew their med subs, if a single pill does the trick, it seems like a decent choice. Not even illegal or anything. A customer of mine said the same thing. But I hear this stuff comes with a lot of side effects. More than anything, I want to look good in front of my customers. Where did that come from all of a sudden? Like I've always stressed, counseling and mental care is D1AL-ogue's specialty. Someone who relies on pills because they can't even fix their own mess can't exactly go around giving advice to others. Guess that twisted affection for Eve's finally spread into fetish territory. So who is it? That spunky Eve from the cafe across the street who's always dropping by? Was her name Fly? Prey. Ah, right, Prey. Or that military TNDLS model who kept coming by a while back. Was she the Eve with the bunny ears? You swore up and down you couldn't touch military models because of regulations, but you still repaired her a bunch of times on the sly. After that Eve stopped dropping by, that sudden spike in your beast-type Eve searches was a total joke. I guess you're not wrong, but I don't want to look good for just one customer. Crazy. Hold on, that came out wrong. It's not like I don't have a customer I care about, but I meant that it's not the whole story. Don't worry, I have zero interest in meddling with your little mating rituals. Just watch your back though. The reckless bravado of beasts in heat doesn't always end with finding a mate. Dying in a brawl with a rival. Or catching a predator's eye and getting eaten is a classic nature material. But using that on me is a pretty nasty metaphor. Whatever it is, I warned you. It's the meds recommended by mom and dad who just love you so much. If they're recommending it even with the side effects, it might be hiding a serious secret. Michelle, you know something I don't. No, wish I did. Thud. Clank. Clank, scrape, clank. Clank, rattle, scrape. Welcome. Hello, Chris. Orca. I know you're sick, but this was the only place I could think of. Repairs just need a... Alright. I'll start with some quick fixes. You're in no shape to worry about anyone else, Orca. How many fingers am I holding up? I'm holding up one. Look at this. I'm holding up one finger. One. I can't see anything. Right. Good news is your optical sensors are still online. I had to check because your neural circuits are completely fried. Is it bad? Honestly, you need a completely new body because your circuits are burned out. You just can't feel the pain. That's probably how you made it this far, but how long has it been since this happened? I'm not sure. I walked from dark brown street, so that's been at least 4 hours. I'll start the repairs the second I'm ready. Can you stay conscious? I'd like to say yes, but to be honest, it's going to be tough. I'll keep talking. Just hang in there a little longer. Oh, 250 seconds. Okay. I'm gonna try getting this done as fast as possible. So we're transferring her to a new body, son? This damage is way too severe. We need to start repairs right now. Let's select the damage area before she completely shuts down. Is the worker gonna die if I don't do this fast enough? This unit here won't budge, and we can't synthesize it either. Looks like it completely fused to the board from the heat. Guess we got no choice. We'll just have to work around it and get this repair done. Okay. Okay, so I got all that. Let me here. There. Alright. So that's done. Auxiliary power is drained. It's got to be around here somewhere. Last time during maintenance, it was on the left shelf. Ah, there it is. Thank you. I'm sorry, but I need to ask a few things so I can fix you up faster. Can you tell me how you took this much damage? I took a direct hit from a rocket launcher. You're not joking, are you? Warlord's hiding Chroma's position and prestige seems to be supporting these so-called revolutionary groups. The level of violence and their firepower have escalated as if proving the rumors true. Warlords? Not like we're in the Middle Ages. Chroma City's strict censorship is only justified because of the clear threat of the outside. Alright. Okay, so that can't move. Alright, let's boop. Alright, I just need now to boop. Come on, let me... Here we go. Alright. Come on, just stop. Up. And, no, what? Why did it move? I had it in the right, thought I had it in the right spot. Chris, about your health issues from last time. Seeing as you're bringing that up first, I guess the repairs are going well. That's a relief. As for my health, it wasn't anything physical. When you go off memory suppressants, built up subconscious stress can cause phantom pain. Guess that's what happened to me. Memory suppression? Yeah. Apparently my memories were suppressed for years, but it hasn't really hit me yet. Part of me is relieved it wasn't a physical issue. Then again, who knows if I'll still say that when my memories come back. For something like that to happen, it's the kind of thing I see on the news sometimes. But it always felt so far removed from me. From what the expert told me, it's incredibly popular. Physical injuries are right there on the surface, so people just get it. But the mind, that's a whole different story. It might be more common than we think. On the surface, Chris, you seem so solid and unscarred. Someone I could lean on. I had no idea you were carrying something so painful you want to erase it. Well, I didn't know either. I still don't. The only thing clear is that my memories are suppressed. But I have no clue what they actually are. Like those urban legends going around? Is it amnesia? Since they exploit loopholes in the terms, here it's almost impossible to get compensated. I'm not sure, but it's unlikely. Looked into it and they say getting them back takes anywhere from a couple of weeks, even a few months. If I want to shorten that, they recommend repeating things that trigger those memories. Like hanging out with people tied to them, or checking out pictures and listening to voice records. Why am I trying to say recording? Alright, enough chit chat. I need to focus on it for a minute. We're past the worst part, but I still got a few issues to sort out. Okay, finally. Oh, wow. That's a pretty big one right there. How are we past the... There we go. Okay. Get any more pink? There we go. No, I wasn't trying to go that far. Okay. Boop, boop. Go. Do. Here. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting close. Probably shouldn't be using 4. I should only be doing 3. There we go. Trying to get more pink. There we go. This is done. Move that there. I don't know if I'm gonna make this on time. Like, I mean, this one's by time, so. Okay, so close. I am close. Go. I feel like there's probably like an easier way for me to do this. All right. Team. Let's do that. Go. It's like I'm making a lot of stuff, but I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Oh. Go. Need more pink. There we go. Come on. Just need a bit more pink. That's not the pink I'm looking for. Right. Can't. Alright. So close. Okay. Almost. I don't think I'm gonna make this in time. All right, and then just come on. There and done. I hope I got this done in time. Took a minute, but we're out of the woods for now. The rest, let's see how it holds up and take it from there. Thank you, Chris. I don't know what adjustments are left. My tail already feels lighter. Swapped out the auxiliary power in your motor functions. Seems stable. I also recalibrated your neural circuit. How's that feeling? I know my way around Eves, but I don't know what actually feels on your end. Nothing feels out of the ordinary. If you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have even noticed the difference. Right now, Orca, it's safe to say you're basically data transferred into a different body. You look the same from the outside, but most of the internal parts were either swapped or overhauled. So I figured it might feel a little jarring. They say sensation is driven more by perception than by reality. Like feeling pain in a severed arm, for instance. There are actually plenty of cases where perception and reality don't align. So you're saying it's hard to feel anything's off. As long as Orca perceives Orca as Orca. Yes. Aside from overusing my name, that's the perfectly accurate summary. Orca. Yes. Orca. Please stop. Seeing an Eve tougher than steel, one that tanked a literal rocket, no less. Looking this mopey was pretty entertaining, but you gotta know when to quit before you push your luck. Probably the best to drop a joke here and change the subject. Just kidding. Anyway, have you taken this kind of damage before? I noticed some traces of thermal warping deep in your core. If this kind of damage is a frequent thing, I'd seriously suggest looking for another job. About that. It's an old wound. It can clear out those marks, but I held off for now because we had bigger problems to deal with. Want me to take care of it later? No, thank you. Keep it there on purpose. It's a form of remembrance. Remembrance? I'm sure you heard people say Eves are just soulless machines. That's a theory already been debunked. That nonsense about Eves just imitating emotions with regulators and electrical signals is basically saying we humans don't have souls either. Most living things run on chemical regulators called hormones. And electrical signals just to move and think. To back up the claim that only humanity has dignity, and that logic is just full of holes. Facts aside, I still wanted to prove them wrong. Those of us who were made, not born, are thrown into a world with a sense full of self, but no real bounds to anchor us. So most of us go through a phase where we're starved for validation. I suppose back then I was going through exactly that phase. This wasn't an orca thing, the common phenomenon among Eves. Since Eves are made, not born, scholars say they don't get the luxury of exploring their identity under a family or society's safety net. There are even studies shown how they tend to obsess over social status and connections, just like an unloved child. I was wound up pretty tight back then. I ignored command's orders and threw myself into rescue ops. And I often helped the survivors personally. Must have been rough. I didn't realize it back then. If anything, I thought it was perfectly normal. I was completely drunk on the idea of being the righteous rescuer. You gotta get to the higher ground to really see the road you've traveled. Going through all that is what made you the orca you are today, I'd say. That might be true, but it doesn't undo the mistakes of the past. It was a few years back. There was a sudden terror attack completely out of the blue. The blaze were so intense, smoke and flames were practically touching the sky. Things looked grim on the ground from the get-go, and Command was already proposing writing the whole sector off. That's when I saw this kid. He was pleading with the squad to save his family who had collapsed while trying to escape. It was basically a suicide mission. The unit hesitated to push forward. And in the end, I just dove in. I told him, still alive, it's gonna be okay. Made a promise without having a clue. But in the end, the building collapsed and I was the only one who barely made it out. The analyst team said passing out during a fire is fatal within 3 to 5 minutes. They were beyond saving from the start. But it was already too late. I had already assured him they're still alive. No amount of belating excuses was going to ease that kid's guilt. Leaving a living sibling behind. I tried everything I could afterward, but the walls he put up wouldn't come down easily. it still feels like yesterday, and sometimes I deeply regret. I realized far too late that my good intentions could end up hurting someone else. Orca. Yes? Chris, you sound shaky. Are you okay? It still feels like yesterday. Can I ask you one thing? 10 years ago, Polar Night Day. Right in the city center with chromatic zenith in full swing. We got an achievement called Fabricated Memories? That day, Michelle and I, by any chance, the person who died that day, is her name Michelle? Yeah, I got... My target time was 250 seconds. I did 352. Yeah, I knew I wasn't getting it done fast enough. What happens when you don't get it done fast enough? Or I don't know. We agreed to stop here for today and continue the rest tomorrow. Not that I found any issues in her system, but more importantly, pushing through with the maintenance could lead to a major accident. My hand shook as I typed out the message. Michelle. What is it this time? She replied as if she was waiting. Slowly, I tried to calm my racing heart, even though it felt impossible. I typed out her name once more. Michelle. Why? What is it? I've been acting really weird the last few days. Is this also a side effect of stopping the medicine? Send, cancel, and cancel. You died. I still remember it vividly. 10 years ago at Polar Night, the nightscape we watched together. It was beautiful. And what happened after, the part I never want to bring up. On that day, you definitely died? So I really died. Kinda had a feeling. When I woke up, I was in a place I'd never seen before. Just this isolated place with not a single person I knew. For some reason, Mom and Dad grew cold toward me. And you just got weirdly obsessed with me. Just felt dizzy for a second. Closed my eyes, and when I opened them, my whole world turned upside down. Even if I couldn't know the details, that something terrible had happened to me. Much was obvious, wasn't it? Right. Still, maybe, just maybe, I was still alive. I've been holding on to that hope, like maybe I was just in a long coma. And my only consciousness was hooked up to some virtual space. Or in cryo sleep. Clinging to any ridiculous reason. I didn't want to let go of the hope that I might be alive. It's just hollow. That I'm really just a crazy AI who thought she was Michelle. Mom and Dad, no. The people I thought were my parents. I think I kind of get why they hated me so much. A program mimicking their dead daughter. God, that's awful. Shattered memories gather, starting to form a distinct shape once again. Just like how Orca's story triggered the memory of Michelle's death. Michelle's words began to bring those buried memories back to the surface. I'm sorry, Michelle. Until just now, I thought you were a shadow proxy hired by Mom and Dad. See, I thought that too. I was thinking that too. But she's an AI that mimics. She's part of the Mimic 1 programming from FNAF. No. So she's an AI that mimics Michelle. Sorry, I came at you like an interrogation. Huh. I want to be mad at you, but you're just a victim of your own suppressed memories, too. I guess that's just how things go. Nothing is ever easy, and nothing ever gets solved simply. You're right, but this is my fault. Just because I couldn't remember. Practically interrogated you about your condition, even though all of this is on me. What do you mean? On you. I'm the one who made you. Touching your extracted data. I held on to the belief that you were still alive. I just told myself you were being neglected because our medical sub was cheap. Or the treatment was too risky. And it's all coming back to me now. Why I was so obsessed with thieves. Why I treated them like they were human. Wait, so what I am right now isn't some insurance trick or a failed medical procedure. Purely your doing? Yeah. Got my hands on almost every certification out there for Eves and AI. And even then it took me a long time. So I guess I'm standing in the presence of the almighty creator himself. So, how was she? Was your sister you built anything like the real thing? But seeing as you even had to suppress your own memories, obviously she wasn't. That's right. You were Michelle, but at the same time, you weren't. You sounded like her, felt like her, but I just couldn't accept that. With my last hope gone, I suppressed my memories. It's like my parents suggested. Me, but not me. What are you gonna pull? What? Are you gonna pull the soul card now? No. I believe Eves and AIs are no different from humans. You know that too. What kind of guy I turned out to be. So your fetish with Eves was this you trying to see me as your sister? Disgusting. Even though I couldn't remember, and subconsciousness doesn't just fade. I didn't mean to, but I can't deny the influence it had. So what does that make me now? Now that your suppressed memories are back, am I back to being a failed project? To something that's Michelle, but at the same time isn't? No. I am Michelle. Fine, I'm not your sister, but from the moment I was born, every single second of my life, I lived as Michelle. Do you know how much like garbage that makes me feel? Looking at people who never even gave birth to me and calling them my parents. Craving for the love I was never going to get. Do you have any idea how miserable that makes me? Do you know what it feels like to be treated like a fake? Just because I have someone else's memories in my head? To realize that the only person on my side was just seeing someone else in me? Do you even understand? No, I don't. What's yours is yours. I can't go through it for you. Thinking about my own mess is hard enough as it is. I just don't have the room to think about anything else. Like how to dispose of this pile of problems with a personality. You've got it wrong, Michelle. Just because the memory suppression is over, doesn't mean I'm going back to the old me. And the memories of talking to you every day, getting your advice and joking around, those aren't gone either. But at the same time, my sister's death feels like it just happened yesterday. Just don't know how to do it anymore. Sorry, Michelle. Mom, Dad, my friends, could feel them all pulling away from me. Even when Mom and Dad talked to me, all they talked about was how I should act around you or what the real Michelle would have done. They never said a word about me. And then they just go silent. Looking back, it must have come from the grief of losing their daughter. Only you treated me with any real sincerity. So naturally, I clung to that. I'm still alive. You're still holding out hope for me. That's what I tried to believe. The more the doubt crept in, the more I lashed out. Being sarcastic, blaming you, teasing you, I could Deuce Taze to handle that truth. Just too weak. Michelle, no. I didn't want to live like this. Just because you couldn't let go of your sister, you didn't want to live this terrible life. I am Michelle. I'm supposed to be Michelle. Michelle. I need some space. Talk to you later. When's a good time for you? I don't know. Damn. Damn, that's wow. I don't know what to say to that. I really don't. Feel bad for Michelle. It's like Chris treated her while on drugs like basically like his sister. Yeah. Yeah, pretty pathetic, isn't it? Self-pity, huh? There's a different air about you today. Did some memories come back to you? You're suffering because of them? It's more than that. While getting back the memories I had forgotten, it completely shattered Michelle's life. I can barely even keep myself together. I'd really love to help you out, but I'm missing some contacts. Mind filling me in? It wasn't a long story. Oddly enough, Leanne knew an awful lot about me. She could do so much on her own, even though I only gave her the parts I recently recalled. As I was impressed by her recall and deduction, she simply added, "It pays to keep good notes," leaving me with the cryptic remark. So, the pain of losing Michelle hasn't even faded yet. And now you're worried you might lose the second Michelle too. Hearing you call her the second Michelle, it feels weird. From the sound of it, you're already drawing a clear line between the two, aren't you? True, but to grieve Michelle, I have to deny the very existence of the current Michelle, the second one. So, me being sad means, deep down, I see the second Michelle as a fake. Yeah. You're overthinking things. It's not like you. So I have to say, seeing you like this gloomy for the first time is pretty precious. Leanne took a small pill bottle out of her pocket. It's a prototype of the drug we're developing. Side effects are all sorted out, And it's basically ready for release once the production line is set up. Take a look at the label, will you? Or Chris. Analyze your thought patterns and potential trauma types. Based on what I just heard, that would fall under case 17. Case 17? How many cases did she anticipate? It has 0 side effect, and it can clearly forget just the memories you want gone. Right now, do you want to do it? Want to? No. Just because I forget doesn't mean things are settled between Michelle and me. If anything, she'd just be even more furious. See? If you really thought the second Michelle was nothing but a fake, you wouldn't be saying that. If she were just some failure you wanted to forget, wouldn't it be easier to just wipe it all away and move on? The old you actually made that call. So, are you saying I've changed? You have changed. But so has Michelle. And your relationship with her has changed too. Even if she isn't your real sister, up until yesterday, I thought of her as my actual sister. And that's why we could be close. Honestly, it was the drug. If you put it that way, you are going to cut ties with all of your regulars too. Not many Eves would want to get repaired by such a depressed mechanic. Though they were cheap drugs. Thanks to them, you got to play with the cool guy. You made some good memories out of it, didn't you? That, if you're gonna deny it, look me in the eye and say it. Look at your best regular in the eye and tell me I'm wrong. You're right. I can't argue with that. That's my man. Playing it all cool while secretly wrecking your brain over every little thing. That's so you, Leanne. No, I did not. Only about 60 things. And anyway, just because you accept the second Michelle doesn't mean you're denying the real Michelle's death. Take all the time you need to grieve and cry if you have to. The thing is, I don't know if Michelle will understand how I feel. Because the more I grieve for my actual sister, the more Michelle's identity is gonna get shaken up. But still, I do feel a lot lighter though. Even if you don't have all the answers yet, just knowing which way to step forward is enough to make you feel like you've got this. I'm just glad you won't be needing the meds I brought. I owe you, Leanne. I owe you one, Leanne. So, we should probably give you a tune-up on the house. You pulled another all-nighter, didn't you? How did you know? Is it showing on my face? Or we all get the same 24 hours a day, Leanne. Nobody in the world can do that much work and still clock out on time. And since I'm definitely partly to blame for all that build-up fatigue, let's come over here and take a seat. No, it's fine. Your rest comes first, though. But please do. Okay, I'll be honest. Out of all of these Eve girls, I will say Leanne's probably like my favorite one. She clearly cares a lot about Chris. She's kind of helped them out. Like help them process his emotions and all that. So if there's a choice option, I'd probably choose Leanne over Prey. Let's see, tuning up Leanne after she overworked herself. 60 moves. Okay, so it's what, another 3? There you go. Boop. Okay. So, not there. All right. Okay, so I got 2 out of the 3 of them. Yep. Here we go. All right, this should make the last one that I need. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there. This goes here, and that goes there. There we go. Polar night day. You'll be all right. If you mean our plans, I don't see that being an issue. Clearly your memories of Polar Night are suppressed as well. I'm worried it might trigger your trauma. I'd say I actually feel better than before. As for Polar Night, I'm actually kind of curious about it now. Sure, it's still pretty sensitive. I'm still pretty sensitive to crowds and loud noises. That's always been the case. With the suppression gone, your responses are back to normal? I guess so. I figured my introversion was because of the trauma, but I guess not. Good thing too. Though picturing you all outgoing and smooth might actually not be so bad. No, so I'm smooth. I wish I was outgoing in real life. I'm pretty much an introvert. I don't really like doing stuff, or I don't really like going out as much. I mean, I don't mind if I'm going out with like friends or family, but in general, I don't really like going out. Alright, got one of those down. There we go. Got 2 of those. Now I just need to focus on blue. That's not what I meant to do. There you go. Come on. Doop, doop. And there. Alright, so just gonna move this here, move that there, and there we go. Were you okay with the maintenance last time? When it comes to handling core overheating, could go with that method again today, because the cooling rate was actually pretty impressive. That method? We should probably do that later, in private. Leanne, I'm trying to be professional here. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that worked out. All right. Trying to make some space here. All right, I got that now. I just need blue. There we go. Okay, so that's one of them. There we go. Need a bit more blue. All right, and then just drop that one down. There we go. All right. And then done. Fairly and perfectly receive a good evaluation for all repairs. Oh, did I? Have I not messed up on Leanne a single time? I wonder why. I feel like all my tension just melted away. We got through the maintenance pretty fast, but could have gotten it done way faster if we went with the method I mentioned earlier. About that, Chris, I know you're an absolute pro with Eve structure, but clearly need to study up on how we actually fill things. Directly draining the coolant is, for us Eves, well, a rather sensitive area. Well, I should get going now. And what do you want me to do with these men? You can go ahead and dispose of them. Even without stuff like that, I think I have enough places to escape to. If you say so, Mr. Hotshot Mechanic. I'll be rooting for you. See you later. Yeah, hopefully. On Polar Night Day, thanks to Leanne, I had finally cleared up a bit. Between yesterday and today, I'm getting way more help from her than I deserve. She has been helpful, like a lot. Emotionally, psychologically. And I completed the move target thing. Yay! December 20th. The previous day was very talkative. That was a lot of talking I did. All right, December 20th. I still feel bad about what happened with Orca. I just hope she hasn't gotten any worse. Almost time for Orca's appointment. Better get the shop open and prep for the maintenance before she gets here. Not gonna try messaging Michelle today? Then again, she said she needs some space, so it's always good to give a lady her space. Hello, Chris. Here for my follow-up inspection like we talked about. How are you feeling? Are you alright? I wouldn't say I'm completely fine, but I'm doing much better. I had people rooting for me too. And it made me feel like I've been doing something right with the shop. That's good news. Nothing feels more rewarding than knowing you're on the right track. I also want to be one of those people who makes you feel that way, Chris. You already are. With a model like yours and the kind of requests you bring, Orca, they really keep me on my toes, technically speaking. Unlike your standard EVs, your model utilizes multi-purpose high-output units. High performance usually means they are a lot tougher to fix or they break down more often. But then again, seems I've been paid the standard rate. Guardian of the street. Can't exactly overcharge a buff girl for her maintenance. Please don't call me that. Alright, alright. Truth is, the baseline for repair costs is pretty fuzzy. Every client needs different parts and they all run their systems differently. Recalculating the bill every single time is a pretty big hassle. I can't just turn people away over it. I think I see what you mean. What if it costs more than expected? Will this be a wasted trip? It's natural for people to have those worries. And usually the better the service, the heavier those worries become. Exactly. Since D1AL-ogue goes for a luxury vibe that doubles as psychological therapy, you need to put their minds at ease. For a luxury clinic though, I sure do use a clunky dial here a lot. Shall we call it vintage then? Vintage works for me. Alright, Orca. Time for your vintage maintenance. You ready? Sync check. After Orca's body swap, 70 move. Whoa, that's a big one. Is that like the highest here? No, it's the fourth one. Okay. Probably go should we go for that one for let's go with this one because it's two color, it's just one color, not two. There we go. I did not mean for that. Okay, never mind. That kind of worked out fine. There we go. All right, this should bring me. There we go. All right, now I just need little one. All right. Dang it. There we go. That's done. I'm gonna check your sync levels with the new body. You might feel a strong jolt. Checks out. Are you sure this is normal? Felt like something massive was tossing me around like a rag doll. I don't know how exactly what that feels like, but getting sensory feedback means you're normal. Yesterday you wouldn't have felt a thing. If it hurt, I'll give you a better heads up next time. It wasn't so much as pain as feeling defeated. Alright, let's go ahead and do this one. Alright. Oh, that was nice. There we go. Go. Let's move this back. I'm also trying to set up for the next one. There we go. All right. There we go. Chris, you are an adult, right? I am, but where is this coming from? I'm aware that humans grow over time, but your childhood self and how you look now don't quite match up. If this is a sensitive topic, I apologize. Don't sweat it. It's something I need to work through. And as for that day at Polar Night, I don't think it's weighing on me as much anymore. Most of my stress and obsession seem to come from what came after, rather than the accident itself. Anyway, I thought you were the outgoing Time Orca, but you're talking like you've never seen a human grow up before. Actually, I never have. I do enjoy being active, but socializing is mostly limited to other Eves at work, so I don't get many chances to meet humans. Building long-term relationship, even rarer than that. Guess we have that in common, surprisingly. Alright, last one. This is a tier 4. Okay, so I need a bit more blue on the board. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bit more, because I'm gonna at least need six more of these. Now the tier 2s, just to get to my tier 4. There it goes, just that. Come on. Oh wow, just one move basically did that. All right. Okay. Well. Okay, I just need to do one more. Dang it, I wasn't trying to do that. Okay, I need more blue. I'm going to clear up some of these. Okay, there we go. Still need more blue. Awesome. Okay, just there we go. Okay, I just need to make a few more of these blues. Just need... There we go. Okay. Alright. And then I got that. Okay, now we can make the final one. There we go. And that goes here. Done. The sink with the swap body was solid, so it didn't take long at all. The sink with the swap body was solid, but it's the last of the follow-up maintenance. As long as nothing feels off, we can wrap things up here. Any issues? Not at all. Might be different once I'm out on the field and using some real force, but the sensation itself is perfectly clear. That's a relief. After a parts replacement on this scale, some Eves occasionally experience a bit of disorientation. Kind of like going through an identity crisis. Is that so? Only my parts have changed. Feel like I'm still just me. It's fascinating. There's that famous story of the ship Theseus. The ship of Theseus that's had every single part replaced, and a new ship built from the old, discarded parts. The question is, which one is the real ship of Theseus? The ship of Theseus is just the ship of Theseus. Does the new ship belong to Theseus? Well, I don't think the story goes into that. What an amusing take. Never heard that one before. A pure yet somehow unique philosophy of hers. Must be the exact mindset that gives her the conviction to dive straight into horror and tragedy without a second thought. You could say the story poses a question about essence. Parts of the ship, meaning the physical body, versus the idea of this is the ship of Theseus. It asks which of the two holds the true essence. Right. Countless philosophers must have offered their own answers. But I simply conclude, I don't know. Her totally unexpected, ridiculous answer threw me off for a second. Just boldly declaring I don't know like that. Honestly, seeing her even more confident than usual was actually pretty funny. I am not the ship of Theseus. I'm not Theseus, and I'm not even a sailor on that ship. I'm not the shipwright who replaced the planks, let alone someone from that era. Since I know nothing about it, I can't exactly discuss its essence, can I? Are you talking about qualifications? Rather than qualifications, I see it more as a matter of cognition. Let's bring this back to humans and Eves. It's about the soul. Like we discussed yesterday. We were saying that Eves who haven't properly explored their identity often suffer from being starved for attention and validation, right? Exactly. I actually struggled with this question around the same time. Makes sense. It ties right into the same theme. Because saying Eves don't have souls is ultimately just an extension of the discussion on their essence and values as living beings. Do you believe that a soul actually exists? It's invisible, intangible, and severely lacks any scientific proof. By definition, the word believe is reserved for things that lack certainty. Are you are you saying it doesn't exist? No, I simply mean that we don't know whether it exists or not. Our essence is the soul, yet we can't even determine. We can't even determine if it exists. How can we define ourselves? Chris, you said that with this maintenance, I've effectively gotten a new body. Does that make me a different orca? I don't think so. Though I haven't exactly given it a deep thought. Then, what if my consciousness were transferred into a completely different Eve model? That would still be you. The premise is a bit different from the ship Theseus, meaning completely different form and function. And yet, without a second thought, I told her that would still be her. The truth is unknowable. All of them could be orca, none of them could be. Or they might only be partially her. The real orca might have died yesterday, and I might just be a replacement. And because the truth is complex. That sounds pretty scary. So, what conclusion did you come to, Orca? Since I can't know for sure, I decided to simply do my best. If I can't know what the essence is, I'll just give my all to every version of Orca. From what I've experienced, the world has always been full of complex, incomprehensible things. Being right or being perfect, it was always harder to find things that simply made sense. Actions I thought were right can sometimes end up hurting someone. And information I trusted as truth can just change overnight. Thinking that way, I felt I should live my life even more earnestly. Whether I have a soul or not, whether I'm an Eve or a human, realizing that it's not up to me to define my own worth made all the hesitation vanish. It allowed me to just focus on doing my best in rescue missions. I think it often goes the other way too. Knowing that no matter what you do, it might not be the right choice. Seems like it might be pretty hard to stay motivated. Maybe it's a perk of my job. It's a tough job, but at least you don't have to second guess yourself as much, right? Saving people, at least making it hard to be a bad person. That's an interesting way to look at it. And it just so happens to be the exact advice I needed right now. I'm glad. I was starting to worry about that. I was just rambling endlessly about my own interests. So you like these kinds of topics too, Chris? I don't know about it. I don't know much about it. But I don't dislike it either. That was a good talk, Orca. The feeling is mutual. Thank you, thank you, Chris. From trying to piece my memories back together to everything that happened with Michelle, and even back in the past, I always ended up owing Orca. You probably wouldn't want anything in return, but I hope I get a chance to make it to her. I got it right on the mark. Target moves 70. Parts moved 70. Nice. Hey, Ray. Thought you'd be swamped right now. What's up? Ray dropping it by out of nowhere. Talk about perfect timing. Taking Leanne and Orca's advice, I was trying to sort out my feelings about Michelle. But I hit an unexpected snag. I was just thinking she might be able to help me out. With Buff Girl O'Hara about to end, I figured she'd be slammed right now. Wanted to drop by one last time before the real crunch begins. I'm basically gonna have to work myself into the ground today. How are you holding up? Holding up? Ah, right. I was feeling a bit under the weather. You came all the way here just because you were worried about that. Not really. Actually, yeah, that's exactly why. I mean, I literally asked you out on a date. So there's no point in denying it now. Date? You mean grabbing food on polar night? Technically, it is a date. You dense bastard. When a girl comes on to you this strong, shouldn't you at least take a hint? Wait a second. What did you just say? I'm basically handing it to you on a silver platter. Are you totally castrated or something? Hold on. We've always just been so comfortable with each other. I never thought of it like that. I mean, let's be real. We literally shared our fetishes with each other. And we've basically seen each other at our absolute worst. Plus, it's not like you ever came out and said it directly. You absolute idiot. You've completely tuned me out when I tried to tell you. And now what? I never said it? Memories suddenly flashed through my mind. Very looking defeated, just asking if we could grab a meal. Don't tell me. The day you came by laughing all weirdly. What did you say back then? Hate this. What exactly does she hate? Hey, stop. Hold on. Just hold on, pray. I actually have something to tell you, seriously. If you're lying, you'll be tasting iron. You mean I'll bleed? Or that your fist will end up in my mouth? My fist goes into your mouth. And you bleed. Plus, you get any compensation for your rudeness. And that's separate from the lying. Compensation? Your favorite kind of reward. I'll give you as much as you want. Good. Start talking. Okay. It's about Michelle. Michelle? Ah, your sister. Hard to say if she's really my sister, but yes, that Michelle. I think you might be able to help with what she's going through. It's complicated to explain, but what's happening to her is a lot like the after effects of a shadow proxy. What are you talking about? She's your sister. Shadow proxying is strictly an Eve thing. After a bit of commotion, Prey listened to my explanation. A complicated look washed over her face. Dropping something this heavy on her out of nowhere, I guess her reaction was pretty natural. When we're done here, I could get her some good snacks. Chris, in a way, this was way more serious than just some after effects. With Shadow Proxy after effects, there's at least an original personality to go back to. Sure, who they used to be might feel like a thing of the past, like some distant childhood memory, but it's not like their memories actually get corrupted. So it's more like how you are right now. Put it like that, you're pretty much spot on. The memories do come back, but aside from a few really intense moments, they feel more like cold data than actual feeling. You're sharp, Prey. Sadly, It's a different story for Michelle. Once the personality she's proxying is gone, there's practically nothing left. Exactly why she's clinging to being Michelle. Even more strongly. If I accept that Michelle is dead, it means her whole life was a lie. Her memories, her personality, even the moments she made so far. But Michelle kind of knew it too, deep down. She still built a life for herself even knowing that. So dismissing all of it as a lie feels like a stretch. Not about the fact, Chris. She lived her whole life relying only on you. Even with the truth in the back of her mind, hearing you say Michelle is dead, it's like losing her last hope. Look, I'm not Michelle, so I can't give you the perfect answer. But I do know one thing. She must be feeling so alone. She needs someone to reach out. The only one who can help her is you. It's my responsibility. I have to sort it out. That's the spirit. But rather than trying to convince her, maybe it's best to just be honest. She probably cares more about not losing herself than just remaining Michelle. She's afraid to become nothing. Not someone's daughter, not someone's sister. You just tell her how you really feel? Mean it. You might not be able to fix everything right away, but I don't think it will end. With you losing her forever? Impressive, Prey. It's not like you ever met Michelle, but how do you have her figured out so perfectly? I understood Michelle almost too well. Even to someone like me, who spent practically his whole life with her. Her read on the whole situation was clear, as if she experienced it all herself. Hearing my words, Prey gave a faint smile and spoke. Every Eve goes through an identity crisis at some point. Sometimes they get lost. Sometimes they make the wrong choices. Prey. For me, it was putting myself in the hands of some suspiciously smooth-talking mechanic, working out of a shady named repair shop in a gloomy outskirts of the city. I see. So that's how it is. That's how it was. Was it helpful? Of course. Honestly, I feel like I just do exactly what you said. She'll actually listen to me? What matters most is that your true feelings get across. Don't let yourself be blinded by the outer shell. Now, as for my compensation, yeah. The touch of a suspicious mechanic. Coming right up. A suspicious mechanic's touch for Prey. 80 moves. Alright. Oh wow, that's a big one. No, it's a tier 4. That one goes to tier 3. Okay, let's kind of work up to getting that build up. There we go. And ooh, that was nice. Okay, so technically I got everything I need to solve this puzzle. But let's go ahead and do a few more of the yellows. There we go. Alright, let me go ahead and just scoop. Alright, put in there, and then this there. Oh. Okay. You need to uncurl your toes. But it feels better like this, since Eves are structured a lot like humans. Your muscle fibers can seize up. We usually just call that a cramp. There you go. Good call. Okay. Go. Do that. Oh. There we go. All right, so technically I have everything I need. Let me just add a few more. All right. Go ahead and put these in place. There we go. Once we're done here, are you going to talk to Michelle? Of course, I'll try to talk to her. If she answers, that is. If things work out, I'm taking you to a killer spot and feeding you until you pop. You buying? Duh, why else would I say that? If it wasn't on me... You said that last time, and then whined asking to split the bill. That was... I didn't have anything saved up for a bill like that. I'm actually saving up properly these days. And besides, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of you anyway. Alright. I'll need to clear up some of those. Okay. Dang it. Not what I meant to do. Alright. Need more yellows to appear. That there. Wasn't trying to do as many moves as I did there. Oh well. There we go. Oh yeah, still need a little pink one. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Can clear up some space there. Not what I meant to do, but okay. I'm just missing one more. Man, is Leanne the only one I'm able to do without messing up? Because I feel like all the other Eves I'm messing up on. All right. There we go. All right, let's put these in their place. All right, is it? I guess that one. All right, and then and done. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Ooh. All right, maintenance is done. Time to get up. Don't wanna. Just a little longer. That was way too fast. I was just getting used to that nice and slow touch. Even if I wanted to cut you some slack. Fresh out of extras. Do you know how much time has passed? At that, Frey's eyes went wide, stared at me in shock. Time? It's been almost 4 hours. Snap out of it. Screwed. I'm sorry, boss. Frey scrambled to her feet, hastily throwing on her coat. I'm rooting for you and Michelle. And don't forget about Polar Night. Will do. I answered belatedly, listening to her fading shouts. Later that evening, I sent Michelle a message. My honest feelings. Everything that happened up till now. Okay, so I feel like we're coming to an end here. 6 moves. 6 moves. Went over by 6 moves. Yeah, I think Leanne's the only one that I've completed without messing up. December 21st. Polar night. Hey, it's Polar Night Day, baby. Yeah, we made it. I think this is like the end here. So, the final event lighting up the year, and in Chroma City, neon signs were flashing, and the streets were packed with people. But in the dim shop, it was dead quiet. Diverting power for the festival was part of it. But for D1AL-ogue, an e-maintenance shop specialized in psychotherapy, things were a little different. Time ticked by, but still nothing from Michelle. The system showed she read it, but there was no reply, no reaction at all. It's almost time to head out. No matter how down I feel, that promise is a promise. A quiet street without a single speck of light, looking up at the night sky. I got ready to leave. Input cancel. Cancel. Hi. Michelle. Thought you'd be happier to hear from me. Your reaction is surprisingly underwhelming. Maybe I shouldn't have ghosted you for a few days. Maybe I should ghosted you for a few more days. It's just so sudden. I didn't know what to say. I'm really glad to hear from you. I read your message. How I feel is up to me. And what you think is up to you. Even if I'm not really your sister, I get that you don't want to lose me. It might sound contradictory, but I thought being honest was the best way to go. Whoever you are. Talking to you every day was genuinely fun. It basically became part of my routine. Who am I? Michelle. Michelle is dead, but I am Michelle. And knowing that, it just made me hate myself. I felt like I was just some abomination. Something that only brought back the pain for everyone who cared about me. That it would be better if I just faded away. Those thoughts just was... Those thoughts just consumed me. We had a lot of good times though. That was the only way I could drown out my doubts. You looking out for me, caring for me, loving me. When it hit me that it was all just a drug-induced illusion, I felt like I lost the last piece of my worth. Because I have her memories. I'm only bringing pain to everyone she loved and everyone who loved her. So, fading away quietly must be the right thing to do. If it were my sister, she would have done that. She's always hated being a burden to anyone, right? I wanted to stay as Michelle, so I thought it was the last Michelle thing I could do. But you told me I still matter, even if I'm not the real Michelle. Whether I'm her or not, you asked me to stay with you. That was exactly what I wanted to hear. Even without trying to be Michelle, you're fun. Sometimes you give good advice. Sometimes you're someone I can count on. Problem was, I just couldn't be like that. After getting your text, I thought about who I am if I'm not Michelle. From the start, I realized I couldn't understand what defines Michelle. memories, habits, emotions, belief that I am Michelle. That's when I realized what you meant when you said I don't know. That you felt this loss too, right? I wasn't sure if Michelle was really dead or if you weren't Michelle. I just couldn't be certain. I had no idea what the right answer was. And then someone told me this. If you don't know, just be honest. And do your best. If you can't figure out the truth, just do what you want. Me doing what I want? Is that really what you want? Yeah. That's all I want. Chris. Then can I be selfish? Can I do what I want and stay with you? My story with Michelle didn't have a picture-perfect ending. But in a way, that's exactly why it left more than enough room to write our next chapter. While I was looking too far ahead, I completely missed what was right in front of me. I was late. Way too late. Michelle's text caught me off guard, but I totally blanked on my plans. When I finally realized and told her, she snapped, "You have something that important and you're just sitting around chatting with me?" And told me to get my ass moving. With an awkward smile, I scrambled to get ready and frantically fired off a text to the restaurant I booked to make it up to a fuming prey, to the scenic promenade, check on the shivering Leanne, to the plaza to return the favor and pay my respects to Orca, to the observatory I got a reservation for to show the nightscape to Michelle. Wait, oh, those were choices. Oh, I did not realize that was choice. Polar night sky. Chromatic zenith is lighting up the city like broad daylight. Excuse me. Sorry, so sorry. These flashing streetlights, even with flashier signs and vintage decorations. Its beauty just made me feel even smaller. Since I was already feeling down for being late for the reservation. What the? You said you had plans with the precious polar night, this precious polar night evening. So I backed off, thinking you finally got yourself a girlfriend. You came all the way out here just to take pictures? It's pretty tough to get a reservation here, you know? They said it's got the best view of the chromatic zenith in the city. Good for you. But I'm just pointing out that you're completely flying solo right now. I wanted to show it to you, just in case you reached out. Me? Why? Chroma City is a harsh place. Too many people suffer here. And victims find themselves crossing the line to become the ones hurting others. Even so, at a polar night, Chroma can still be a beautiful thing. That's what I wanted you to see. Well, I know that's a closed subject now, but basically you're saying there's more to me than just myself. And that's the gist, right? Right. I guess I owe everyone else an apology, but I pay good money for this reservation. Be ashamed to waste it. Feel like I've been scammed. Oh, looks like I can go in now. Come on, let's head inside. Didn't realize I was making choices. Can I go back? Can I rewind? I didn't mean to choose Michelle. I like the game. I do. I really do. I had a feeling I was going to be making a choice at the end, but I would have thought it would have been given like, hey, these are the choices you can make. Because it just said frantically sending out text. I mean, they should all understand. But honestly, the one that deserves it is Leanne. She did so much. She figured out my supplements was actually suppressing drug. She helped me kind of like figure out that. Oh no, Orca helped figure out that Michelle would still be Michelle. Leanne basically helped with Chris coming to terms with everything. What's Pray? Way too many people. I'm dead. This is a total disaster. Hey, Pray. What are you doing hiding under the counter? What happened to the strong heart of a buff girl O'Hara kept going on about? Hey, O'Hara's strong heart is about the unwavering will to stand against evil alone. It's completely different from showing off in front of the massive crowd like some kind of freak. Who's Nina? Pray, what are you doing? Get out here and spread this noble buff girl spirit. Wait, is this Pray? That's Nina? The boss is calling. Time to roll out and protect the citizens, right? Seriously? Fine, I'm coming. Said I'm coming. Oh, she not happy. She, or those hearts in her eyes? What's going on here? You're way too nice, Chris. I know you're trying to be considerate, but playing dumb after all those signals I gave you, that's just cruel. Let's skip that for a second. What's the syringe in your hand? It's a serum that makes you honest. Just let go of all those complicated thoughts and relax. That description alone makes it sound really dangerous. Not at all. It's perfectly safe. I've already had a dose myself. It should be kicking in right about now. How is it? Feeling anything yet? I'm sorry, Leanne. I'm sorry. All right. Just about done. How's it feel? Not even close. My joints are literally creaking. I had to make sure you were functional first. I used some emergency spare parts. You don't mean that junk pile in storage, do you? You know exactly what my bank account looks like. They just put me back in the drive. I'd rather be data than stuck in my body. I can barely move. No can do. Why not? Already put an ad out. Put out an ad. Well then, I got a cute and capable new hire. I'll be counting on that cute smile. Better swap these out for high-grade parts later. Got it. Wanted to choose Leanne. Oh, No. Is that? Oh, yeah, that just starts me back at the beginning. That's. I would say that's not fair, but I should have been paying attention more. Boom. Wait, click all of this. Or control to skip. Skip tutorial. Should have saved. Why didn't I save? Either way. Damn. Like, I wish there was a continue button. Like, a load button's fine where you can load from your save state, but a continue button would have been fine. Like, continue from where you last left off. Oh well. Either way. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed D1AL-ogue. I enjoyed it too. I just wish I was able to choose the option I wanted to. I did not mean to choose Michelle. I did not. I wanted to choose Leanne. To be fair, I felt like she was the best choice out of all of them. Like, don't get me wrong, Prey, nice girl. Like Orca, also pretty nice. Just felt more like a friend and a love interest type of thing. Of course, Michelle was just like a sister. Leanne, on the other hand, I mean, she did a lot. She did a lot for Chris. So upset that I wasn't able to choose her. I accidentally chose Michelle. But yeah. Anyway, well, that's it for D1AL-ogue. I don't think I'm going to do a separate not do anything set. That's basically it. I played the story. If anything, I can always just go back, choose Leanne and the other ones, see how their endings go, because probably get like achievements for that. So, or is the Steam called achievement? I don't know. Either way, I can always go back and do all that. So, meh. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. And Wednesday I'll be doing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. We should be starting around 7 p.m. Central Time. So hopefully I get to see y'all there. Anyway, bye everybody.